Hi everybody, I'm Gwen. Welcome to At Home with Gigi. Thank you so much for stopping by. So happy to have you here. Today's video is all about pumpkins. We're going to be creating pumpkins from different items from the Dollar Tree, and what better way to be able to craft and create on a budget. So I cannot wait to share these with you, so let's get started. We're going to be using this pumpkin from the Dollar Tree, and I've already removed the leaf and give it a good sanding and removed all that glitter. And we're going to be attaching this vinyl from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to just outline the pumpkin on the vinyl and cut it down a little bit more just to make it a little bit easier to handle. I'm just going to go ahead and line the vinyl up across the top of the pumpkin, and I'm only going to work in small sections just to control how fast I'm applying the vinyl to the pumpkin, so I can make sure I'm getting out all those air bubbles and any wrinkles or anything like that, because I want it to be as smooth as possible. And I tell you what, the little tool that you're about to see, I love this. I just recently got this with the brayer that I picked up from Michael's, and oh my goodness, it worked like a charm to just smooth this vinyl out and just get all the air bubbles out from under there. I think I might have a new favorite tool. This thing is just amazing. I love it. I'm just going to go in with my favorite nail file and sanding block and then just remove any of the excess vinyl around the pumpkin, and this stuff just came off so easily. I've never used vinyl before, but it really came off so easy, and I love working with this. So you're probably going to be seeing more projects in the future because I have some stacked up from the Dollar Tree like everybody else. We're just going to add some twine to the stem, and this twine is something you pick up from the Dollar Tree. And I had originally planned, and I did go almost all the way to the end of the stem, but I just did not care for how it looked. And so whenever I removed some of the twine, of course, you know, you're going to have the hot glue there, so I used my nail file to remove the hot glue. And I was like, ooh, I like how that looks. I had planned to paint over it, but I just left it the way it is. Y'all, I was supposed to add a bow to this, and I just started hot gluing the leaves, and I just completely forgotten. By the time I was adding the flower, I realized it. I said, well, too late now. We're just going to roll with it. And I'm just using bits and pieces of the leaves and flower that's left over from other projects. And you can see I did cut down the stem completely on the back of this flower just so it would lay down pretty flat. Like most crafters, I have way too much stuff, so I've really been trying to use up things that I have already in my stash, and everything that I'm using for this project I already had on hand, and everything except for the word sign that you'll see in just a moment did come from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using a baby wipe to apply the paint for two reasons. One, I want it to have more of a stained look, and the other reason is I want to preserve that brown outline around the words, because I think with this orange paint it just really makes it pop and stand out. And if I forgot to tell you, this is Pumpkin from Waverly Chalk Paint. Today's video is part of the Talented Creators collaboration that's hosted every month by Aurea at DIY with Aurea, and Ray at One Way Design 238, and Loli at Loli D's Creations. And their co-host for this month is Kathy Jo at Kathy Jo DIYs. And I'll have everybody's channel along with the playlist listed down in that description box as usual and pinned in that top comment. So make sure you go and tell everybody hello. If you're here from the playlist, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm out of my favorite Gorilla Gel glue, so I'm just using some of the super glue from the Dollar Tree and just a little bit of hot glue to attach the sign. Y'all know how much I love to add beads to a sign, so I decided to go ahead and add these beads to the hanger, the little twine hanger that these signs come with, and I already had the white and the black beads on hand. but I painted the little small ones, and those beads came from Amazon, I think, or it may have been the Dollar Tree when they had those little small ones a couple of years ago. But anyway, I painted them with the same color I did the sign pumpkin from Waverly Chalk Paint, and then I'm just going to pop it into the holes, and that's it. This completes the project. Oh, I did go back and add, I think, 3 more beads, because once I hung it up, it just didn't look quite full enough, at least to me. This was just so fast and easy to make, and of course you can always choose your own colors. These were just things that I already had on hand, and I just thought it was just so bright and festive and just cheerful for fall. But tell me what you think. Tell me what colors you would choose. For this project, we're going to be using these 3 pumpkins from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to start by removing all this paper, labels, and everything from these pumpkins. I use my iron like most people would use a heat gun because I don't have one, and it just makes those pesky labels and stickers just peel right off. And then I'm going to use a combination of my scraper and then spray water onto the top of each of the pumpkins, cover them with some wet paper towels for just a bit, and this stuff you can just scrape it right off. After all the paper is removed, I just gave them a really good sand down, wiped them down again really well, and then just put them aside and let them completely dry overnight. Once everything is dried, we're going to go in and give each of the pumpkins a coat of Waverly Chalk Paint in the color Plaster. I've already added a layer of Mod Podge to each of the pumpkins and let that dry. And y'all, isn't this napkin beautiful? It came from Amazon, and I'll try my best to remember to link it down below. I'm terrible with that, so sorry if I forget. Just ask me in the comments and I'll remember to go back. And I'm going to line it up across the top of the pumpkin. And y'all, I don't know why I didn't cover the stem. In my mind, I had planned on doing it, but I go back and fix that in just a moment. But anyway, I'm lining it up across there, the top of the pumpkin, making sure I have all the wrinkles smoothed out before I place the parchment sheet on top. And we're going to be using the iron-on method, and this is one of my favorite methods to decoupage with. If you watch my videos, you know that you just have an iron on very low setting, and then I like to start in the center of my project and just work my way out and then all the way around the surface. And what it does, the heat reactivates that Mod Podge and it causes the napkin to attach to your surface. To cover the rest of the stem, I'm just using the bottom part of the napkin that I sanded off of the pumpkin and lining it up as best I can right there, trying to make it match up as much as possible, and then just very gently go over it with the iron, just kind of tapping it to hold it in place. And see how perfect it looks? At least I think so. And then I just use my finger sander just to remove that excess napkin. I've added a little bit of twine to the stem. I didn't go all the way to the top. For whatever reason this year, I'm just loving leaving the top part of the stem uncovered. And then I'm just going to go in and add a couple of little bows. And the ribbon, of course, came from the Dollar Tree. And so did the little flower that's laying there on the table. Guys, this is always just ideas. You do not have to use these colors, this napkin, whatever. You can paint your pumpkin, whatever you might prefer. But I did pull that flower apart because it's still kind of big for this little pumpkin, but I think it is just so cute. I'm loving this shabby chic kind of vibe going on. But tell me what you guys think. I really think this turned out so super sweet. For the next pumpkin, we're going to be using this decoupage paper, and this came from Amazon. And isn't it gorgeous? I'm just trying to line it up on the pumpkin where I can get as much of this beautiful paper as I can and just the different areas of it. And y'all, this is going to be a very simple pumpkin because I love this paper so much. I didn't think it needed any embellishment. Of course, you can always embellish it however you want, but I just wanted to showcase this beautiful paper. And of course we're using the iron-on method because with this gorgeous paper you want it to be as smooth and wrinkle-free as possible. And then I'm just going to go in with my finger sander and just remove all the excess paper. I think this turned out just absolutely beautiful. Again, you can add whatever embellishments you may choose, but I think this paper is just enough embellishment on its own. You can even distress it a little bit if you want, but again, I just chose to leave it as it is. For this last pumpkin, we're going to be using some more of the Decoupage paper from Amazon, and I just love this design, and I did go ahead and just adhere it using the iron-on method. So for the final pumpkin, I wanted to do a little something different, so we're going to add this Hello Autumn sign, and this came from the Dollar Tree. You know, they come in those little packets of 5 or 6, and I'm just using a baby wipe to apply the antiquing wax from Waverly. I want the sign to have a 3D effect on the front of the pumpkin, so I'm just using one of these little tiny clear beads from the Dollar Tree, of course, and I'm going to attach it to the back of the sign, and then I've already found the center, hopefully the center of my pumpkin, and I'm adding just a teensy bit of hot glue, and then just pop that into place and just kind of hold it until it sets up. I chose to keep this pumpkin very simple and just very elegant. You can of course dress it up however you want. You can distress it, add a ribbon, whatever might be the case, but I think this turned out so beautiful and just as simplicity. You would never guess these were those ugly pumpkins that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. Maybe I know which one's my favorite, but let me hear which one is your favorite of the 3 that I've decorated, and I just love them. Again, you can add bows, flowers, whatever might be the case, distress them a little bit, but I just love how these have turned out. For this pumpkin DIY, we're going to start with taking the 2 frames outside and giving them 2 coats of Rust-Oleum white spray paint. I'm going to place the frames where they're facing each other or back to back, however you want to look at it, and then I'm going to be using zip ties to hold it together, and then I use 3 zip ties across the bottom, 1 on each side, and then 3 across the top. And then after I got them all cinched in, I just went back with my wire cutters and just snipped off the ends of them. I forgot to mention, I did snip off one of the stems. I could not get them to line up and it was really bugging me, so I just used my wire cutters and just snipped it off. For the base of the pumpkin, we're going to be recycling this little wood piece from the Dollar Tree, and I had the honey go in with the heavy duty staples and put staples across the bottom, but it was still fairly wobbly. So I'm going back in with hot glue, and actually it's a lot of hot glue, and I'm just building up a layer along those ridges at the bottom. That way, once it hardens, it stopped wobbling back and forth so much. While the glue is still a little tacky, I'm going to go ahead and add in the floral foam and just press it down into the wire, and then I realized it was way too long, so I cut it off, and it was kind of jagged, so I just went all the way around and just added in some Spanish moss just to cover that up. I'm just going to continue to fill in with these beautiful fall leaves and these gorgeous florals that I've collected over the last year or so, and one of the picks that I'm using is from Walmart this year, and I happened up on it, and oh my gosh, y'all, it was just so pretty. But I cut it down and just used bits and pieces in this, and like I said, I'm just going to keep filling in until I cover all of this foam up. And as you can see, I popped in a candle. You can use a pumpkin, a vase, whatever you choose, but I love these candles. I have a whole collection of them. I've got mine from QVC several years ago, and they have lasted for forever, and to me they just resemble a real flame. So beautiful and just cozy, especially this time of the year. I just made a quick messy bow with some ribbon that I already had on hand and just tied a knot in some raffia and then just hot glued it to the center of the bow to cover up the twine that I used to tie it off. And then I used more twine to tie it onto the stem. And that was just the finishing touch for my pumpkin. Oh goodness, y'all, I love this. I really am in love with this. I think it is just so beautiful. It is going to be in the center of my table all the way through Thanksgiving, and I am just so happy and over the moon with this piece. I did make a couple of changes. As you can see, I put in a taller candle. The other one was just a little too short, and I switched out the pumpkin. I thought it needed a bigger pumpkin and some color, and I think this pumpkin is just perfect. I am loving this. Thank you to my sweet subscribers for always coming back and being so supportive. I appreciate you so very much. If you're here from the playlist, a great big welcome to you. I hope you'll decide that you like my video and will want to stick around and become a part of my YouTube family. Please don't forget about the playlist. Go and show these folks some love. They are so wonderfully talented, and I appreciate them letting me be a part of this each month. Guys, thank y'all so much again for being here, and y'all have a great weekend. I'll see you next time. Bye.